Have you ever wondered why the silence of an empty house seems to scream louder than any other noise? If you are going through a time in your life where your children have left home, you have lost someone special, or you simply find yourself alone more often than you would like, I completely understand that feeling. That echo of your own footsteps, the ticking of the clock that you never noticed before, and especially that emptiness that seems to swallow up all the energy in the room. But what if I told you that there is a huge difference between being alone and feeling lonely? And that it is possible to transform these moments of silence into something comforting and even pleasurable. In this video, I will share with you 6 proven ways to fill the silence of your home without depending on anyone, creating a welcoming environment that will make you feel at peace with yourself. Because the truth is that many people spend their entire lives surrounded by people and still feel deeply alone, while others discover in solitude a source of strength and renewal. Stay with me until the end, because the last tip will completely change the way you see these moments of stillness, and I promise you will never fear the silence of your own home again. Tip 1. Create a soundtrack for your life. The first step to transforming a heavy silence into something welcoming is to understand that you have the power to choose what energy you want to bring into your home. Many people make the mistake of turning on the television just to make noise, but this only creates an empty distraction that does not truly fill the emotional void. Music, on the other hand, has the power to touch our soul in a unique and special way. Start by creating different playlists for different times of the day. For the morning, choose soft, upbeat tunes that will help you start your day with positive energy. This could be classical music that has always calmed you down, or maybe some songs from your youth that bring back happy memories. For the afternoon, when the house is quieter, choose more upbeat tunes that will get you going with household chores or a hobby you enjoy. Nighttime is the most important time for this strategy. It's when silence tends to weigh the most, when thoughts are most intense and loneliness can hit hardest. Always have a selection of songs on hand that calm you down and keep you company, but that aren't so sad that they make you feel melancholic. Soft instrumentals, sweet vocals, or even sounds of nature can create the perfect environment for relaxation. The secret is not to let silence take you by surprise. Before it sets in and starts to bother you, you should have your music ready to create a welcoming environment. And remember, it doesn't have to be loud, just enough so that you feel that there is life pulsating in your home. Over time, you will notice that it is not only the silence that disappears, but also the feeling of emptiness that it brought with it. Tip 2. Turn your home into your personal sanctuary. Often, the feeling of emptiness we feel doesn't just come from silence, but also from the physical environment around us. A messy home, with objects scattered around or dark corners, can intensify the feeling of abandonment and loneliness. That's why transforming your space into a true personal sanctuary is essential to feeling good about yourself. Start small, but think big. Choose a corner of your home that will be yours. It could be a favorite armchair, a corner in the living room, or even your bedroom. Make this space exactly how you like it, with comfy pillows, a warm blanket, maybe some scented candles, or a diffuser with your favorite essential oil. The idea is to create a place where you feel truly at home and at peace. Lighting makes all the difference in this process. Swap out those cold white bulbs for warmer, more yellowish lights. Use lampshades, light fixtures, or even string lights to create soft lighting points around the house. Warm light not only makes the room more beautiful, but it also directly influences our mood and sense of well-being. Don't forget about the details that bring life to your space. Plants are wonderful silent companions. They purify the air, bring color and life to your space. And they also give you a little care routine that can be very rewarding. If you're new to plants, start with more resilient species. Photographs of happy moments, objects that have special meaning to you, and even a painting or decoration that makes you smile can completely transform the energy of your space. The goal is to make every corner of your home tell your story and reflect who you are. When you surround yourself with things you love and that make you feel good, silence stops being empty and becomes a space of peace and reflection. Tip 3. Develop a comforting self-care routine. One of the most powerful ways to fill the emotional void is to develop a self-care routine that makes you feel special and cared for, even when you're alone. Many people associate self-care with expensive or complicated treatments, but the truth is that the simplest gestures can have a profound impact on our well-being. Start by creating small rituals throughout your day that are just for you. Instead of rushing out of bed in the morning, take a few minutes to stretch, take a deep breath, and set a positive intention for the day. It could be something as simple as, I will be kind to myself today, or I will find something beautiful to appreciate. These first few minutes set the tone for your entire day. During the afternoon, when silence tends to be more pressing, always have a self-care activity available. It could be a long bath with aromatic salts, a cup of your favorite tea drunk calmly and mindfully, or even a few minutes giving yourself a foot or hand massage. The important thing is that it is something that connects you with yourself in a loving way. Nighttime is the perfect time for more elaborate rituals. Draw a relaxing bath, use a moisturizer with a scent you love, make a homemade face mask, or simply take a few minutes to gently and lovingly brush your hair. These gestures may seem silly, but they send a powerful message to your subconscious. You deserve to be cared for and loved, especially by yourself. The secret lies in the consistency and intention behind each gesture. It's not just about doing things, but doing them with love and mindfulness. When you treat yourself with the same care you would treat someone very special, loneliness becomes a precious moment of connection with yourself. Now, before we continue with the next tips, I would like to make a special request to you. If this content is making sense in your life, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our conversations about well-being and quality of life. And tell me here in the comments, where are you watching this video from? I love knowing that our community is spread across so many different places, and your participation motivates me to continue bringing content that really makes a difference in your lives. Tip 4. Cultivate hobbies that feed your soul. There's a huge difference between filling your time and nourishing your soul, and that's where many people get lost when they're trying to deal with loneliness. Watching TV or browsing social media can be distracting for a while, but they rarely bring the sense of fulfillment and purpose that our souls crave. That's why developing genuine hobbies is one of the most effective ways to turn your alone time into moments of personal growth. The first step is to rediscover what really brings you pleasure. Think back to your childhood or youth. What did you enjoy doing that made you lose track of time? Maybe you enjoyed drawing, reading, cooking special dishes, sewing, or even taking care of plants. Often the responsibilities of adult life make us abandon these activities that nourished our creativity and joy. Start slowly and without pressure. If you've always wanted to learn to play an instrument, you don't need to go out and buy a piano. Start with something simple, like a used guitar, or even apps that teach you how to play music. If you're interested in reading, don't force yourself to read complex books. Choose something that really sparks your curiosity and gives you pleasure. The important thing is that the activity makes you feel alive and connected to a part of yourself that may have been dormant. The beauty of hobbies is in the process, not just the outcome. When you're knitting a scarf, painting a picture, or tending to your garden, your mind is focused on the present, the here and now. This creates a natural meditative state that calms anxiety and fills the void in a way that's much deeper than any superficial distraction. And don't underestimate the power of creating something with your own hands. Whether it's a delicious dish, a simple craft, or even a handwritten journal, the act of creating connects us to our true selves and reminds us of our unique value. When you complete a project, no matter how small, you feel a genuine sense of satisfaction that no passive activity can provide. Tip 5. Connect with nature indoors and outdoors. Nature has a healing power that goes far beyond what we can explain scientifically. It reminds us that we are part of something bigger, that there is a natural rhythm to life that is independent of our solitude or company. Therefore, connecting with nature, whether indoors or outdoors, can be one of the most powerful ways to fill the emotional void. Indoors, start by creating small, natural oases. You don't have to turn your home into a forest, but a few well-chosen plants can make a huge difference to your surroundings and your mood. Plants like lavender, basil, or even a small herb garden on your windowsill not only bring life to your space, but they also give you a little routine of care that can be very rewarding. The simple act of watering plants, watching them grow, and smelling their scents creates a special connection with the cycle of life. If you have a backyard, a balcony, or even a window that gets plenty of sunlight, take advantage of these spaces to create a little green space. It doesn't have to be elaborate. A few pots with colorful flowers or aromatic herbs can make all the difference. And if you live in an apartment, don't worry. There are many plants that adapt well to indoor environments and can completely transform the energy of your home. But connecting with nature doesn't stop at plants. Open the windows whenever possible to let in fresh air, observe the sky and the changes in the weather, and try to synchronize some of your moments with natural rhythms. Wake up with the sun when you can. Drink your tea while watching the sunset, or simply spend a few minutes watching the clouds pass by. And whenever possible, get out of the house and have direct contact with nature. A walk in the park, a few minutes sitting on a bench looking at the trees, or even taking care of a small garden can be true medicine for the soul. Nature teaches us about patience, about cycles, about the beauty of small things, and most importantly, about the fact that we are never truly alone when we are part of this great living system that is the natural world. Tip 6. Practice the art of self-talk. This last tip may sound strange at first, but it can be the most transformative of all. The art of self-talk is not about talking to yourself randomly, but about developing a healthy and loving relationship with your own thoughts and feelings. Many people fear silence precisely because it is in silence that our thoughts are loudest, and these thoughts are not always kind to us. The first step is to learn to be a good companion to yourself. This means treating your thoughts with the same kindness you would treat the thoughts of a dear friend. When you find yourself being too hard on yourself, stop and ask yourself, would I talk to someone I love this way? The answer is probably no. So why do we talk to ourselves this way? Develop the habit of asking yourself loving questions throughout the day. How are you feeling right now? What do you need right now? What would make you happy today? These self-talks create an intimacy with yourself that is deeply comforting. You become your own counselor, your own source of support and understanding. A very powerful technique is to write letters to yourself. It may sound strange, but writing to yourself as if you were a dear friend who is going through a difficult time can bring clarity and comfort in a surprising way. Write about your fears, your hopes, your dreams, and most importantly, how strong you are and how capable you are of weathering any storm. Practice gratitude out loud too. When you're alone, say out loud 3 things you're grateful for that day. It could be something as simple as, I'm grateful for this warm cup of tea. I'm grateful for having a roof over my head. Or I'm grateful for my health. Hearing yourself express gratitude creates a very positive energy in the environment and within yourself. Silence stops being scary when you discover that it can be excellent company for yourself. In fact, some of the most important and transformative conversations you will have in your life will be with yourself, in moments of stillness and reflection. We have reached the end of this journey together, and I hope you have realized that the silence of an empty house does not have to be an enemy to be fought, but rather a space to be filled with love, care, and attention to yourself. Each of these 6 ways I have shared with you has the power to completely transform your relationship with solitude. But the most important thing is that you understand that being alone does not mean being abandoned or forgotten. You have within you everything you need to create a rich, meaningful life full of special moments, even when no one is around to witness it. In fact, some of the most precious moments in our lives happen precisely in those moments of intimacy with ourselves, when we can finally hear our own voice without the interference of the outside world. Remember that solitude can be a very wise teacher if you allow it to teach you about your own strength, your ability to care for and love yourself, and the beauty of living an authentic life. Every song you choose, every cozy corner you create, every moment of self-care you dedicate to yourself, every hobby you cultivate, every plant you tend, and every loving conversation you have with yourself is an act of self-love and building a life worth living. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these tips made the most sense in your life? Which one are you going to start practicing today? Tell me in the comments, because your experience can inspire other people who are going through the same thing. And remember, you are never truly alone when you have learned to be a good companion for yourself.